The fastest man alive has got some pretty strange villains to keep up with, so here are 10 of our favorites. 10. Replicant. There is a villain that was basically family to every villain in the Flash's rogue gallery and trained with all of them, and he's only had 11 appearances. Replicant was the actual nephew of a tailor that made all of the outfits for all of the Flash villains, so he's basically an evil nepo baby. He fights using a device from the future called a humanifold that turns whoever it bonds to into a living weapon. It replicates powers, whether that be super or skill-based. 9. Insomnia. Insomnia is a newer villain from the Dark Knight's Metal event, and he's really creepy. He was a Justice League stan until the Justice League couldn't save his family, and then he lost it, just a little bit. He got some superpowers and went on a spree. He gained nightmare powers, trapping people in their worst nightmare, invading dreams, reality warping. He appeared to have passed in Night's End, but like I said, he is a newer villain, so he very much could return. 8. Altered Strain. Imagine you find out that you have the gene that gives people superpowers, only you're part of the lucky few that don't actually get any. That would be pretty frustrating, but it doesn't excuse wanting to rule like gods and attempting to kidnap an elected official, two things that the villain group Altered Strain attempted to do. The group wanted the government to give them money so that they can try and develop potential powers, despite never actually showing evidence that they have any. They've only popped up the one time. 7. Changeling. Changeling might be one of the only villains that Jay Garrick ever actually eliminated instead of just rehabilitated. He was a prisoner that planned to escape by sabotaging the power generator of his prison. It backfired and shocked him with so much electricity that it just gave him the power to transform into any animal. During his final battle with the Flash as a shark, Flash knocked him unconscious mid-transformation, and as he departs the scene he says that only one of them could survive, and Changeling has never been seen again, so that is not a good sign. 6. Goldface. Goldface has since been on the mend, but he was once a villain to both Green Lantern and the Flash. Goldface is a literal name. He was experimenting with gold that had been saturated for the past few hundred years with seawater, and that gave him superpowers. Power over anything gold. His potion also covered his body in the gold, which was as sturdy as it was fashionable. Being technically all yellow, you can understand why he would be an issue for early Green Lanterns. 5. Claw. Claw set up quite the get-rich scheme. He rerouted a train that happened to be carrying all the leaders of big industries, says shipping, auto, etc., to his personal ghost town base. But he didn't hold these guys for ransom, no, he trained doubles for all of them and sent them off to be his inside men. The Flash saved the day by grabbing all those CEOs at super speed and then taking Claw through an assembly line, so that's sandpaper, a water bath, until he agreed to get arrested. 4. Spin. Spin uses the media against the Flash, but in a non-traditional way. He forced a being that can make people's fear reality to watch the news 24/7, so whatever the residents of Keystone City were feeling scared of, that would materialize. But Spin would manipulate the situation as the guy in charge of the main news station. News of earthquakes in a nearby city is making the public anxious, and that's the distraction for his next robbery, for example. It was quite clever, just not clever enough to stick around. 3. Papercut. Papercut tried to become the next big supervillain, failed spectacularly. His power to control wood is no match for Kid Flash or anyone, considering he actually doesn't really control wood that well. He is better at controlling its byproducts, like paper. Instead of using that knowledge to, I don't know, rob a bank, he decides to fight Kid Flash in the park. Slips of paper versus Wally West, you can guess how that went. If Papercut was really smart, he would partner with a villain that sprays lemon juice because God knows that exists. It's Condiment King. 2. The Eel. The Eel was a criminal that could slip away from any crime scene thanks to the grease gun that he carried with him. Literally, that was his whole thing. You can't arrest him if you can't get a hold of him. His other quirky moment was when he tried to send a bunch of people to jail thanks to blue laws, like if you didn't serve raw carrots with your dinner, jail. He also systematically built up a town. He hired the law enforcement and the mayor, attracted people to that location, and then flipped everything to his crime town with the law on his side. It was pretty genius, but foiled by the Flash at every turn. And finally, the Flash fought clouds, like actual clouds. The cloud creatures were sentient creatures that lived under the surface and caused earthquakes and volcanoes with the intention to eventually completely destroy the surface world. They would take on the appearance of a really angry cloud when invading the surface, and they would strike with lightning. Luckily, the Flash can defeat clouds by striking the nucleus, turning them into normal clouds. But what do you think? Let us know your favorite Flash villain in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, nerds!